prospect, prospect, prospect. So, you want to know about the word prospect? Well, let's break it down. The part of speech is noun, which means it can function as a subject or an object in a sentence. Common usage of prospect refers to a person or group that has been considered for employment, promotion, or some other favorable outcome. For example, she was a top prospect for the manager's position. It can also refer to a situation or event that is likely to happen or occur, like the forecast suggested a good prospect of rain next week. What's interesting about this word is that it often carries a sense of optimism and potential. So be careful not to confuse it with words that have negative connotations. In a formal context, such as a job interview or a speech, you might say, "The new CEO has made it her top priority to attract high-caliber talent. And I believe my skills and experience make me an ideal prospect for this role." Here, the word prospect is used to refer to someone who has potential for advancement or success. Context explanation. This sentence is from a job interview where the candidate is showcasing their qualifications. In a casual conversation with friends at a coffee shop, you might say, "I've been eyeing up that new apartment complex downtown. I think it's going to be a great prospect for first-time homebuyers." In this example, the word prospect refers to something that has potential or promise. Context explanation. This sentence is from a conversation between friends discussing real estate. In a business or academic context, such as a report or research paper, you might say, "The recent data suggests that investment in renewable energy may be a promising prospect for our company's future growth." Here, the word prospect refers to something with potential or likelihood of success. Context explanation. This sentence is from a business report discussing potential areas for investment. So you want to know what prospect means? Well, in everyday life and business, a prospect is basically someone or something that has potential or possibility of becoming something more valuable or useful in the future. Imagine you're thinking about investing money into a new project or buying a property, but it's not quite ready yet. That's kind of like being a prospect. It's like saying, "I think this could be great," or "This might work out well for me." And then you take steps to make it happen. As a result, the main characteristics of something or someone considered a prospect is that they have potential, but are not yet fully realized or developed. In business, the term is often used in sales and marketing, where it refers to a customer who has expressed interest in buying your product or service. Think of them as a likely buyer. Some people also use similar concepts like opportunity, venture, or chance, which have some overlap with prospect, but they're not exactly the same thing. Radical, radical, radical. Let's take a closer look at the word radical. As an adjective, radical generally means going to the root of something, or having very strong feelings about it, often in a way that surprises others. For example, you might say, "He has radical ideas for solving world hunger," which means his suggestions are truly innovative and groundbreaking. Common usage includes describing someone's opinions or actions as extreme, unconventional, or bold, like, "She was a radical feminist back in the 60s. An important note is that radical can sometimes be used to mean shocking or disturbing, especially if you're describing something as being totally opposite of what people expect. For instance, a movie with a radical plot twist might surprise viewers with its unexpected ending. Here are 3 example sentences using the word radical with their respective contexts. In a formal lecture on social justice, the professor explained that the new government's proposal to increase taxes on the wealthy was a radical shift in policy, signaling a significant commitment to reducing income inequality. This usage of radical implies a sense of dramatic or unprecedented change. At a dinner party, your friend might say, "I'm telling you, trying a new restaurant every week is a radical thing to do. I can barely manage to try something new once a month." In this context, radical connotes an extreme or unconventional behavior that's not necessarily bad, but rather unusual. In a business meeting discussing marketing strategies, the marketing manager suggested launching a product line with bold and daring branding, stating that it would be a radical departure from our traditional approach. Here, radical implies a sense of innovative or groundbreaking thinking that might take some risks, but could also lead to significant rewards. Hey there! So you want to know about this word that means making big changes or going against what's usual? Well, think of it like a person who strongly believes in doing things their own way and isn't afraid to challenge the status quo. They might have some unconventional ideas or approaches that others don't understand at first, but ultimately they can lead to new and exciting things. This type of person often likes to break free from rules or traditions that they think are outdated or unfair. If you're someone who loves to think outside the box and take risks to make a real impact, then this word might describe what you do. Random. 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 So, let's talk about the word random. The part of speech for random is an adjective, which means it modifies or describes a noun or pronoun. In common usage, people use random to describe something that happens or exists without any particular pattern, order, or predictability, like a random number generator in a computer game. It can also be used to describe something that is chosen or selected in a way that is not deliberate or planned, such as watching a random movie on TV. One special note about the usage of random is that it's often used informally and casually in everyday conversation, so you'll hear people using it in conversations with friends or online. But it might sound a bit more relaxed or colloquial compared to other adjectives. Here are 3 practical example sentences using the word random with their respective contexts. In a formal setting, such as a research paper or academic presentation, you might use the phrase random sampling to describe a method of selecting participants for a study. For instance, the researcher employed a random sampling technique to ensure that the data collected was representative of the entire population. Here, the word random is used in a precise and technical sense to convey that the selection process was unbiased and free from any external influence. In casual conversation with friends or colleagues, you might use the phrase "I had a completely random thought" to express a sudden idea or realization. For example, "I was walking home from work and I had a completely random thought, we should totally try out that new restaurant this weekend." Here, the word random is used informally to convey that the idea came to you without any prior planning or deliberate intention. In a business context, such as a marketing strategy or product launch, you might use the phrase "run a random promotion" to describe an impromptu offer or discount. For instance, the company decided to run a random promotion on their website for one day, only 20% off all products with free shipping. Here, the word random is used in a business sense to convey that the decision was spontaneous and not part of a pre-planned marketing campaign. So you want to know about something that just happens or occurs without a specific pattern or predictability? Think of it like a bunch of things happening together, but they don't follow a certain rule or order. Imagine flipping a coin multiple times. Sometimes it lands on heads, sometimes tails, and sometimes in between, right? That's kind of what we're talking about. It doesn't mean that these events are unimportant or insignificant. They just happen without being planned or expected.